Hey guys, welcome back to FedEx Gaming's Redstone Tutorials. In this tutorial, I'll show you guys how to build my 4x4 piston door. Now, this is the first time I've ever built a 4x4 door. I have a 4x4 door that is extendable, but it's not a 4x4 door. So we click this button, the door opens up. I know it looks a little bit terrible right there, but guys, it's my first time doing this. And we click the button on this side, and it closes behind us. So now let's talk a little bit something about this build. Now, I really sucked at building 4x4 doors. I really did. I quite didn't understand how to make it close. I couldn't make it open, and it would be a lot bigger than this, but I didn't quite get it, so I did some research on it, and I found this nice little thing right here. It's pretty much a monostable circuit that keeps its pulse. Now, on most 4x4 doors, you'll see something like this, or you'll see one like mine, but however, it usually will look a little different here and there, but it all does the same exact thing. It's a pretty much just a quick pulse, and then it keeps its pulse afterwards. That's pretty much the heart of this whole build right here, this little thing right here. So I did want to keep it a little bit different from other 4x4 doors, however, since it was my first and I like making mine a little bit different, I kept all the redstone on one side. So as you can see over here, when it's closed, it only concaves into the wall one block, which I thought was really cool. Am I going to make a flush one? Maybe in the future when we have hoppers and droppers, but right now not so much. So I've kept it all in one. It works in all directions. I made sure it works in all directions, so it's all beautiful and whatnot. So enough talking about this thing. Let's just start building it. Alright guys, so for this build we're going to need a 14x3 spacing. We're also going to have to dig down too. And for this build, well, we're going to be doing the closing circuit first, so I'm going to be using lime wool for my closing circuit. We're going to need 22 sticky pistons, a handful of redstone dust, 32 redstone repeaters, 14 redstone torches, a lever just to test it out to make sure everything's working, 4 immovable objects such as obsidian or a furnace. It still has to have power go through it. You don't need the immovable objects, but I recommend using them while you're building it. And then I'm going to be using quartz as my block of choice. You can use whatever color you want. So once you got your 14x3 spacing and you've dug down your 2, I want you to come to the bottom left hand side, and we're going to count over 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right here we're going to put our immovable object. I'm going to be using obsidian, and we're going to put a sticky piston right above it, and then we're going to put 4 sticky pistons next to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Put another obsidian block or whatever you're using, and put another sticky piston above that. So what we're actually going to be doing first is putting our door in. So just put your block of choice right above each piston. These are the blocks you'll be able to see. And then we're going to come up 3 on both sides. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So right now it's a 4x4, and then we're going to put a little cap on it as well, like this, and then delete these side blocks right here. So there's our 4x4 door completely opened. Next, what we're going to do is put a sticky piston facing downwards on both corners, like this, and like this, and then put an obsidian block right above both of them. Like I said, you can get rid of these blocks afterwards, but for now, I recommend using an immovable object just so you don't ruin it. And then we're going to put sticky pistons right next to these blocks facing downwards to make our top extension like that. There we go. I hate doing that. So there we go. Now we're going to put in our side piston. So just come out 3 from both sides. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Delete these and then put your side pistons in. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Delete that one so it looks something like that. And do the same thing over here. 1, 2, 3. Delete these 2. 1, 2, and 1, 2. There we go. Now let's start doing some redstone. So what we're going to do is come to the backhand side over here, and right off the bottom, 2 sticky pistons right here. We're going to put 2 repeaters on 4 ticks delay, and then going into the obsidian blocks, we're going to put repeaters on 4 ticks delay, and then we're going to just hook them together like this. So right here is pretty much our input. Any power going to this part right here is going to activate everything. So just put a lever right here just so we could test it out while we're going through it to make sure everything's working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the closing circuit for the left-hand side first, and then we'll do it for the right-hand side. So what we're going to do is come up a block next to this dust, put dust on top of the block. Then coming out of the block with the dust on it, we're going to put a repeater on 4 ticks delay. Put a block in front of your 4-tick delay repeater, some dust in front of the block, a block in front of the dust, and then turn back going towards this obsidian block and put a repeater on 3 ticks delay with dust going into your obsidian block. This will create a pulse extension, so when it is opening, this sticky piston stays extended for a longer period of time so it can retract the block back down. That's all that does. That's just a pulse extender. Next, what we're going to do is put a block right above this 4-tick delay repeater coming out of the dust, put a torch on top of the block, a block on top of the torch. Then off to the left-hand side towards the back, we're going to put another torch. This torch should go off. Then put a repeater on 1 tick delay going away from our off torch with a block on top of it, dust on top of the block, then a block next to the dust right above our 1 tick delay repeater, like this. Put a torch on top of the block on top of the torch, and then going towards the right-hand side towards this obsidian block, put a torch going this way, it should go off. Then right off the bottom of the off torch, we're going to put another sticky piston facing down. It should extend out. And then we're going to put a block in front of that, and that will create our monostable circuit that keeps the pulse. This is pretty much, like I said, this thing pretty much makes the whole thing work right. And then off this bottom sticky piston right here, just put a block with dust right here. Next, come back up here, and where this off torch is, come a block out one more from the sticky pistons that is extended out. Put a block put a block going back towards this obsidian block. Put dust here, it should go into that off torch, and then put a repeater going this way on 1 tick delay. And then what I want you to do is take out your blocks of choice and pretty much just fill in 4 blocks of choice here, because you will be able to see them when the door is open. Bring dust all the way down the back side. Then on these 2 middle sticky pistons, put 2 repeaters on 1 tick delay. Then take out your block again, come 2 out from here, dust, and put a repeater going into your obsidian block on 1 tick delay. And that should be the whole closing for this side. So if I click down our lever, it should close on this side only. So, boop. See how it's completely closed? And then when I click it up, it does that, because we have yet to do the opening circuit. So now we're literally just going to do the same thing we did here on this side. It's exactly mirrored, guys. So just go a block up, dust, repeater on 4 ticks delay, block in front of it, dust, block, turn this way, repeater on 3 ticks delay going back towards our obsidian block with dust here. That will create our pulse extender. Put a block in front of our dust right here like that. Come on, no, there we go. Put a torch on top of it, block on top of the torch. Torch to the back side should go off. Put a repeater coming out from that off torch on 1 tick delay. Put a block up on top of the off torch with dust on top of that. Then a block right above the 1 tick delay repeater right next to this dust. Torch on top of the block. Block on top of the torch. And then actually delete this dust for now, and then put your torch in so it doesn't make it wig out, and then put the dust back. Next, look underneath. Put a sticky piston coming down from that off torch. It should extend out. Put a block in front of it. That will create our monostable circuit that keeps the pulse. And then put a block right next to this sticky piston with dust. And there we go. So now this side, the whole thing should close now. The whole thing should close. So if I click it down, the whole thing closes. And then the 4 middle blocks right here should stay. So we click it up, and the 4 middle blocks stay. So now it's time to make our our opening circuit. So let's get rid of this and take out our blue wool. So I'm going to be starting from the left-hand side again. So where this repeater is on 4 ticks delay going into this block, put a torch here. Then coming out of the torch, put a repeater on 1 tick delay. Put a block in front of the 1 tick delay repeater with a torch on top of it. Next, put a block right above this on torch, and then come out one towards our off torch right here. Put dust right above it. The dust should come on due to the torch being on. Put a repeater coming out of the dust set to 4 ticks delay. Put a block in front of it on top of this off torch with a torch above that, and that will create a monostable circuit right there. Next, what we're going to do is come out from this side with a torch. It should go off. Put a block right above the off torch right next to this bottom sticky piston. Then on top of this block, we're going to put a repeater going into the sticky piston set to 4 ticks delay. Put a block above that. And then actually, before we move on, come 2 blocks out from this sticky piston that's right above the obsidian block. So 1, 2. And then coming out from this off torch, we're going to put 2 repeaters on 1 tick delay going into this block. Next, what we're going to do is come back over here, and right here in the middle where we have this dust here on this one single block, we're just going to come down a block. So right here next to this on torch, just put a block right here, and then come 1 more out and put 2 repeaters here on 4 ticks delay. Then right next to this off torch, put a block behind your 4 tick delay repeaters with dust on top of it. Then we're going to put 2 blocks right above these 4 tick delay repeaters, so you won't be able to see them anymore, except in case you come over here, you will. So come 2 blocks right above them. So 1, 2, make sure they're both on 4 ticks. Make sure, double check, because if they're not, it will ruin it. And then put 2 1 tick delay repeaters on top of these blocks with a block in front of it on top of this dust. And then come a block up above this dust, put dust here and here. And then right above this 4 tick delay repeater, just bring blocks to this one sticky piston right here with dust like that. So it looks something like this. And that's it. You should be done. That should be the whole opening circuit for that one whole side. So if I click it down, it closes. If I click it up, oh, you know what? We have to put a block next to this dust. So right here where this dust is, put a block right here, and that should fix it. So let's make it close again. So there we go. It's closed. And then opening. There we go. Now we just got to do the same exact thing we did over here on this side. So just come over here where this 4 tick delay repeater is. Actually, let me get rid of this real quick and put a torch coming out of that. Put a repeater coming out of the torch. It should come on 1 tick delay. Put a block in front of it. Torch on top of the block. The torch should go off. Put a block right above this torch. Come out 1. Put dust right above it. Put a repeater coming out of the dust at 2 4 ticks delay. Put a block on top of this off torch. A torch on top of the block. This will create your monostable circuit. Next, what we're going to do is come out one more torch on this side. And then let's actually do this right now. Just come out 2 right here and put 1 tick delay repeaters going into this block. Put a block right above your off torch. Then put a 4 tick delay repeater going into the sticky piston. Block right above the off torch here. Then we're going to come onto the inside right here where this dust is and put a block right next to this on torch. And then 1 out and put 2 repeaters on 4 ticks delay going into that block with the dust. Put a block right next to your off torch. Dust on top of that. Dust on top of this. And then we're going to put 2 blocks right above this one. So 1, 2. Put 2 repeaters on 1 tick delay. Put a block in front of them. A block behind them with dust on top of it. And then bring blocks out from this back sticky piston right here with dust on top of both of them. And you should be done. So actually, did I put my block in front? Nope, I didn't. So put your block in front of this dust, don't forget. Now if we click it down, it should close. And then if we open it, well, if we click it up, it should open. And there you guys go. All right, guys, so now all we need to do is clean it up and make it work with a button. So literally just come over here and just clean it up. Put some blocks in here, put some blocks in there. Cleaning it up. There we go. There we go. And there we go. So of course, oh, I forgot. Do not put blocks here. Do not put blocks there because you do not want this to cut them off. So do not put blocks there or there. So now if we click it down, it looks all nice. Click it up. And it opens up nice. Now, of course, this is your front over here. So now if you want to make a button, you're going to, of course, have to dig down a little bit more, but you don't have to dig down more. If you know how to make a if you know how to make a T flip flop and all that good stuff, then you are done. Go right ahead. But if you want to build it, if you don't know how to do it, then just follow along. What I like to do is right here off either side of these 2 pistons, just dig out 2 blocks, 1, 2, and this will lead right over here to this dust. And then what we're literally going to do is I'm going to use actually yellow wool here. Let's just use yellow wool. There we go. And we're just going to come down a block again like this and bring your dust over here like that and come down 1 more block. So now you can see our dust is connecting over there. And then just put a repeater going into this block. Then put a torch behind the repeater. And then put a block right above the torch. We'll make it close. Come 2 blocks this way, out from that block. Actually, 3 blocks out like that. And put a sticky piston here facing towards this block. Then come down a block from your sticky piston. Put a repeater going into the block. A sticky piston behind the repeater with a block on top of it. This will create a monostable circuit. Then put a block coming out from that with dust, and there you go. So now wherever you bring this dust right here, we'll open it with a button. So, boop, opens it with a button and closes it with a button. Just make sure the dust is going right into this block. Do not, if it goes like this, if your dust goes like this, it will not work. So make sure it goes this way. Make sure it goes into the block like that. So if you want a button on this side, there you go. You got a button on this side. So, you know, bring it wherever you want. And then if you want a button on this side, literally just from this sticky piston right here, come out with blocks like this with dust going into it like that. And then just put your button on this side if you want a button on this side as well. So there you guys go. That's how you build my 4x4. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a like and subscribe to stay tuned with my newest videos. All right, guys. Peace.